You're swimming around with your friends, your eyes are closed, and you scream Marco at the top of your lungs, and your friends respond back with Polo. It's a fun game that many kids have played, but have you ever looked into it? Who Marco Polo is? He is a European explorer today who I want to commemorate, and what he did, and tell you guys, my audience, about the adventurer Marco Polo. The man who traveled across Asia discovered many new things for Asia and wrote them down. And the European explorer, merchant, and writer who traveled across Asia for 24 years and was the first to document his experience. I want to tell you who Marco Polo is completely, explain what he did, and go in depth for why he's so important to cultures everywhere. Marco Polo, the general description of him is a Venetian merchant and adventurer who traveled across Europe to Asia from 1271 to 1295. He wrote the Il Malone, or known in English as The Travels of Marco Polo. Information from bibliography.com tells how Polo was born in 1254 in Venice, Italy, and was born to a wealthy merchant family. But most of his childhood was not spent with his parents. His mother, in fact, died with him at a young age, and his father and uncle were adventurers and were never there. His family also had a business in jewelry, but they were more intrigued by the adventure side. So, when Marco became of age, he traveled with his father and his uncle across Asia. They explored during the largest empires, the Han Empire, which is mysterious to those of Europe and people who haven't explored it. Marco Polo, after his adventure, got married to Donna Bahir and raised 3 daughters and continued his merchant business until his death on January 8th, 1324. So what is the general information about Marco Polo? What did he really do? Why is he so popular, and why, like I said before, people say his name to this day? Well, he's infamous for what he did and writing down what he did. His travels from Europe to Asia from 1271 to 1295. Like I said before, he was not alone though, traveling with his father and uncle during this path right here. Marco Polo was a pioneer of his efforts and paved the way for many other explorers. And fun fact, Marco Polo was not the first one at all to travel Europe, like I said before. He was just the first one to just write it down. In his infamous book, The Travels of Marco Polo, the book he wrote, it was difficult to explain where he was at what year, but we'll try to make it best to explain what he did. Information from Enos.com, the Kublai Khan was a rich and powerful leader of the Mongol Empire. And he was commissioned Marco Polo to travel across his empire and survey people, their traditions, the flora, fauna, and the geography of the land. Marco Polo began his travels at 17, and he spent 20 years trekking across the vast area of the world where most have never explored. He told stories of his journey to the narrator of the book, Roscello Pisca, and Roscello relates his tales to explorers' travels. He also creates a portrait of what was when the Mongolian Empire was like, the culturally rich and wondrous land. Marco Polo traveled along the Silk Road, an ancient trade route that wound through northern China, Central Asia, Mesopotamia, and Eastern Europe. Marco Polo encouraged European exploration. Marco Polo also had a great impact on the culture of China by encouraging the European exploration, which gave new ideas and cultural experiences. This information from a Hisperpedia tells us how people respond to Marco Polo's return with curiosity, envy, and desire. People were curious about the Eastern civilization, and the culture envied Polo and desiring his treasures. This sparked a determination once to travel and explore the unknown, and one of the determined ones, for example, is Christopher Columbus. Marco Polo also brought many unseen things from Asia, such as compass, paper currency, spices, noodles, and many other things. And Marco Polo's interaction with the Mongolian Emperor Kamakan led to more interactions with European and the Chinese. Because of Marco Polo's travels, not only were Europeans curious about the civilizations in the East, but the East were curious about the civilizations in the West. The Chinese were always in favor of the exploration of the West, dating back to the Han Dynasty, 2000 BC to 200 AD, when Emperor Wu deployed the diplomat Zhang Han on a mission to explore the West. The Silk Road was a huge factor in the future of European and Chinese interaction. On Marco Polo's first venture to the East, his father and uncle said they had to hurtle over the dangerous Gobi Desert. And if you were to cross it again, the likelihood of Marco Polo surviving is almost close to none. And this is where they found the Silk Road, a more effective route to sail across the ocean seas in China and better with trade. The Silk Road interactions became more affluent and prospering, and Marco Polo can be attributed to being the spark of the age of exploration. His books, The Travels of Marco Polo, proved to be the most influential factor in many of the European adventurers exploring the world. Like Christopher Columbus, like I said before, de Magellan and Gama were all caught up with the curiosity of the unknown and trekked to discover the undiscovered, of which the homes of civilizations of the Europeans before included the Native Americans and Africans. The Asian exploration started with Marco Polo and his exploration of the East. In conclusion, we discussed what Marco Polo did, who he was, and why he had the reputation he has. The interactions and the future accountants of the exploration succeeding Marco Polo's travel should all, if not mostly, be attributed to Marco Polo himself. Without Marco Polo's curiosity and journey to the East, Europe, and the Mongol Empire, and China would have undergone a completely different path in history. The trade of culture, goods, and ideas between the East and the West built not only each other's lands, advancement, and technology, but also as a society as a whole. Marco Polo's trek was a monumental stepstone to the progression of the industrial eras and natural growths of many nations around the world, both inside and outside Europe and Asia. The final quote, which I love from bibliography.com, when Polo died in Venice, January 8th, 1324, as he lay dying with his friends and fans of his book, urging him to admit that his book was fiction, Polo wouldn't relent, and he said, "I have not told you half of what I saw." Thank you.